Plymouth Big Red want another shot at the St. Paul Flyers after falling to them late in Firelands Conference play in the regular season. The only ones standing in their way tonight are the St. Mary's Central Catholic Panthers. The 2 seed in the district is taking on a gauntlet of a schedule, and we'll see if the Panthers have been battle-tested enough to reach a district title tonight. Tonight's live and free coverage is exclusively brought to you by JJ's Pizza in Plymouth, exclusively on the OH Report. It's coming up next. Every shot counts, every game matters. Catch the action right here on the OH Report. And it's time now for your OH Report pregame show, brought to you by JJ's Pizza in Plymouth. You'll see their sign and logo and phone number a lot here on this broadcast. Thanks to them, we are bringing you this live and free coverage exclusively from JJ's over in Plymouth, so make sure to go support them, as the Plymouth Big Red here tonight are in Shelby, just 10 minutes down the road, set to take on St. Mary's Central Catholic in a district semifinal in Division 7. Jonathon Langdon alongside Joe Balogh, also Jacob Gessner, your statistician here today, and your camera operator is Jeremy Peoples. And let's talk a little bit about these two teams, Joe. For St. Mary's Central Catholic, they're the 2 seed despite an 8-15 record.
Kind of surprising. I mean, that, you know, if you take a look, as I guess you say, overall strength of the districts, the 5 different Northwest districts. And I hope people don't take this the wrong way, but this might be the weaker of those 5 districts. So with the expansion to 7 divisions, it gives teams that maybe have played a pretty tough schedule, and you know we currently use the Max Preps RPI, so it's not a coach's vote. It's based on teams you played, your winning percentage, your opponent's winning percentage, and your opponent's winning percentage. So it tells you that Sandusky St. Mary's has played a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah, and you see they're coached by Kyle Hammond in his second season. He comes from Edison after coaching there for 10 years, and they're 1-4 in non-conference play, and they did play in a pretty solid river conference, the likes of Hopewell Loudon, Old Fort, and then also some other solid teams up top as well. I'm thinking of Calvert too. Yep,
Calvert, I mean, Old Fort and Tiffin Calvert have kind of been the teams I think that have dominated that league, but then their non-league, you take a look, they played Sandusky Perkins, which is a very good basketball team. So their schedule challenges them. They played Margaretta, so they've seen some really good basketball teams that they've had to go up against. So the RPI kind of tells you that. We'll see. This should be a pretty good matchup, I think, in this basketball game.
Yeah, don't let the records fool you. St. Mary, a solid squad. They lost an overtime thriller last postseason to another Firelands Conference opponent, Monroeville, 65-57. Player spotlight here today for St. Mary's Central Catholic and the Panthers. For redundancy sake, we're going to call St. Mary just St. Mary for the most of this broadcast. Caden Weichel averages just under 13 points a game. This is a young squad here with the Panthers, and this sophomore is really leading the way.
Yeah, Weichel averages just about 13 points a game, and I think actually he's maybe the only double-digit scorer that the Panthers have. So, again, his play tonight is going to be crucial for them to have success at the offensive end of the floor.
He had 12 points. He had 6 steals in their win against Crestline. You know what that tells me? In a game like that, they probably run a full-court press.
Yep, I would say that that's the case. I haven't had a chance to see the Panthers play, but you would expect that if they got that many steals and forced turnovers, they're going to be a team that's going to be very active at the defensive end of the floor.
Let's switch it to the other side for the Plymouth Big Red here, playing really close to home compared to St. Mary. They come into this game 12-11. It's a solid season for Plymouth, where they finished middle of the road in a pretty solid Firelands Conference. They got some solid wins under their belt. You see they beat Crestview not too long ago, 52-49, and from there they've really had a really good go as of late. They've won 4 of their last 5. That one loss coming to St. Paul, who we just saw in the first game. But Danbury, I'm looking at that game, their first sectional title in 10 years.
Yep. I mean, you mentioned there how they played. First game, they lose to Crestview by 5 at Crestview, lose to St. Paul by 1 at St. Paul, and then they come back at the end of the year. In the last week of the season, they beat Crestview by 3, and they lose to St. Paul by 10. So again, they're coming in here with 12-11, chance to win a district semifinal basketball game, which you mentioned, first time in 10 years that they've won a sectional. I'm not sure how long it's been since they've won the district, but it's probably been a while.
Yeah, they had a 25-win season back in 2015. That was when they won that sectional. They went all the way to the district championship.
Yeah, I think we actually, I'm not sure if that's a year that we would have played, Ontario would have played Plymouth over at senior high with Brooke Turson. They were a very good basketball team.
Well, how about another basketball player, really good basketball player for the Big Red? It's Jarrett Burrer, averages 17 and 10. And this kid's not really as tall as you would think, averaging a double-double. He stands 6'2". He's going to run the point here for this team. Jarrett's a solid option for them.
Well, the other impressive part besides being a double-double from the point guard position is he's shot 144 free throws, made 107, shooting 74%. So that's pretty impressive. That tells you that must be a really aggressive point guard in being able to get to the basket and get to the free throw line.
We're going to take a quick break and come back with keys to victory, also starting lineups and tip-off here in game number 2 in this Shelby District semifinal on the OH Report.
You're watching high school tournament basketball 100% live and free. Thanks to all of our generous sponsors. Please support those who support your local athletes.
And time to wrap up our pregame show just before tip-off, brought to you by JJ's Pizza in Plymouth. Jonathon Langdon alongside Joe Balogh, your camera operator today, Jeremy Peoples, statistician Jacob Gessner, as we see Sandusky and St. Mary Central Catholic having their starters announced at the moment. We will announce them for you, both sides. We'll start with the Panthers. They'll start their junior Brian Gibson wearing number 0, averages 3 points per game. Caden Weichel is our player spotlight for the Panthers. He wears number 2, the sophomore 5'8" guard at 12 points, 6 steals. Against Crestline, Blaine Finneran wearing number 3. He will start alongside Weichel in the backcourt wearing number 3. And then Braden Gill and Gabe Birch. Those will be the big fellas underneath. Gill wears number 22. Birch wears number 33. Braden is a senior and Gabe is a junior. St. Mary 8-15 on the year. They went 7-11 in a tough SBC River Conference. On the other side of things for Plymouth, we'll look at their starters, and they will start their player spotlight. Jarrett Burrer wears number 1. The junior 6'2" guard will start alongside Jackson Bays, number 2, the junior 5'9" guard. And then underneath, Lex Groves wears number 5, along with number 24, Isaiah Reynolds, just a freshman in the starting lineup, along with Kanan Kilgore, who wears number 23, another sophomore for this squad for Plymouth. So, Jill, let's look at these keys to victory. I think for Plymouth, you've got a guy like Jarrett Burr that loves to drive with the basketball. I think as a team you can get to the basket here tonight against St. Mary.
Yep, and I mean, where we've seen pretty impressive 144 free throw attempts on the season, his ability to get in the lane and either finish plays or create scoring opportunities for himself or teammates is going to be key.
And then all eyes on Weichel. There are plenty of other players for St. Mary that can score, but it all comes from Caden Weichel because he can facilitate, he can score as well. And then to get to St. Mary's points before we start, active hands. This team loves to steal the basketball. They're going to put some pressure on Plymouth, and then also some off-ball composure because Plymouth, they're a pretty solid defense as well. They're not going to let you get open.
Yep. I mean, it's going to be it's an interesting matchup, as you mentioned, losing record, but yet they're the number 2 seed in this sectional. So right away, the Panthers jumping out in their man-to-man defense.
So Plymouth will start with the basketball, 12-11 on the year. They went an even 7-7 in the Firelands Conference. Baseline drive from Burr.
And Plymouth, a young team, three juniors, a sophomore, and a freshman in the starting lineup. Although St. Mary's, they only start 1 senior, so both teams will bring back a lot of players next year.
Good solid start defensively. No shot has gone up yet for Plymouth in the first 30 seconds. Burr has it on the right wing. Defended here to start this game by number 0, Brian Gibson. Ball will continue to move for Plymouth. Top of the key, 3 is triggered from Kanan Kilgore. No good, but you see Burr, who averages 10 rebounds a game, getting in there, crashing the glass and drawing a foul.
Offensive rebound by Plymouth, as we mentioned in the first game. Turnovers, rebounding are usually key, and especially getting a second chance opportunity. So a baseline out of bounds play here for the Big Red.
Jackson Bays catches the inbound. He'll keep the ball moving. This is Reynolds, 6'3" freshman in the starting lineup here tonight.
You already you've got to like the pressure that Blake Finneran puts on the basketball at the top. Quick little athletic point guard. Looks like he defends pretty well.
That ball nearly dropped by Kilgore, and now St. Mary's forces a solid defense. It goes out of bounds, last off of Plymouth.
Well, and basically defended for 1 minute 20 seconds there. So no one look at the basket. Good job there by the Panthers.
That tells you.
And now it looks like Plymouth's going to be. It looks like they might be kind of in a box and one look here.
In the corner, dribble drive, backing down in the post is Birch. He kicks it back out to the perimeter. Gill lobs it over top. Back to the center. They'll move back and forth here. St. Mary defending for 1.5 minutes on the other end. It kind of tells you the kind of game we're going to see here today. Low scoring. Both teams average nearly under 50 points a game. Plymouth at 51, and then you've got St. Mary at 45.
They're just in a box in one set, trying to face guard Weichel, and Jackson Bays is the guy that's guarding him right now.
Saw the dribble drive by Finneran. That goes off last of Burr. Tight inbound there. They're able to get it in and reset. Drive inside, cut off. Ball will continue to move for the Panthers. Nice patient offense, just like they did on the defensive side of things. Finneran, 6 points per game. He'll dribble to the right. That kicks off of a leg of Kilgore. So we've already gone 2.5 minutes into this game, and this is still the first possession for St. Mary.
And they haven't shot the ball yet. So you're going to need to try to get Weichel some screens here if they're going box and one.
We've had 2 inbounds plays for the Panthers here on this possession, and not going to have a third. It'll be a Plymouth basketball after the turnover that seemed to have last gone off of Gibson.
So both teams kind of feeling each other out here as they've not played each other during the regular season, so a little bit different than maybe a traditional district tournament game.
Big Red's second possession on offense. They spent a minute and a half. If you're just joining us, yes, a minute and a half on their first possession. Panthers sat and defended and forced a turnover at the end of it, and they're going to force another right here. Got to love this defense from St. Mary.
So both teams a little bit tight offensively right now, and a lot of that could be attributed to how the defenses are really pressuring the basketball.
Shout out Daniel Stotts, also Dina, all cheering on some basketball here tonight. Into the post, fading shot for the Panthers, gets the scoring started nearly halfway into this first quarter. A good bucket by Braden Gill.
Well, they ran a little bit of an overload with the 2 post players, and Gill able to catch it in high post and made a nice spin move and finish to the basket.
The Big Red as a team score 51 points per game as Reynolds catches it here. Fix the handoff to Burr. Instead gives to Kilgore.
And St. Mary's at about 45 points per game, so highly likely that it's going to be in that 40 and 50-point range, whoever wins this game tonight.
Tough shot by Kilgore, nearly rebounded by the Big Red. Tip out by the Panthers. Finneran starts a break. Here's Gibson. Looks like a double dribble as he made the shot, but it won't count. Get a second look at it here thanks to JJ's Pizza of Plymouth.
This is one of the things that you had talked about in the pregame was St. Mary's extending their defense in the full court. So although they did not score dead ball here, they're going to be able to extend it, and also making a couple quick subs here, which indicates that they're going to look to really pressure the basketball when they get the opportunity.
Finneran out, Leo Will in for the Panthers. Also in Sam Lawrence. Had a career day against Crestline in their sectional, had 11 points, 6 rebounds. Catch and shoot for Plymouth, trying to get it going from deep. That they cannot do here in this possession, and a good rebound by St. Mary. Down the floor, the Panthers go. Caden Weichel, our player spotlight, has the basketball. Able to get it around a double. Gill spin to the corner he goes. And the ball's back with Weichel. Gets the call from head coach Kyle Hammond. Pop to the free throw line, short jumper. Offensive rebound and a block by Burrer. Birch was rejected by Plymouth. Mid-range jumper, Reynolds. Short on it, and there's another rebound, this time by Birch.
Well, St. Mary's did a good job there of flashing a guy to the high posts against that box and one.
Fight for the rebound, that will end up with Plymouth. Burrer, eyes up the floor, dishes, Reynolds, second chance, same spot. That time he knocks it down. 2-2 here with 2.5 minutes left.
Yep, and you got to like for a freshman, he missed the shot, did not hesitate when he was open on the catch and shoot on the second shot, able to knock down about the 13-foot jumper.
Another look for the Panthers. They'll step in for 2 instead, and that's a solid shot from Leo Will.
Yep, Leo Will, only a sophomore also. So we talked about both of these teams being pretty young, and winning a district game would really kind of enhance the confidence of these young players, not only for this year but for the future also.
Spacing not too great here for the Big Red. They'll now set up and left open for 3. We'll see that go down. Lex Groves takes the lead for the first time tonight for Plymouth.
I mean, he's only a 25% three-point shooter, so probably the scouting report by St. Mary's would say he's got an open look right now. We're going to give it to him. If he hits a couple, then you're going to make an adjustment. Again, trying to overload that box. Long pass, almost stolen, but the Panthers able to retain possession.
Yeah, credit to Sam Lawrence there. Was really aggressive going after that ball that was first touched by Burrer. And he won the possession back. So here's St. Mary, another chance. Weichel to the corner. Contested three. Little short, no good. Burrer down the near side. Jarrett finds a trailing Bays. And Burrer squares up the three off the back iron. Rebound by Gill. Under a minute to go here in quarter number one. Big Red 5, St. Mary 4. The junior. A little bit of back and forth play here from the Panthers. Not seeing much underneath the basket. Just trying to dissect this Plymouth defense with 35 seconds.
Well, you wonder if St. Mary's has seen much of a box and one.
Sam Lawrence continues his hot shooting into today. That's a good sign if you're St. Mary.
Yep.
Just averages 2 points a game. He's already over that here in the first quarter, and now a turnover by Bays. We're going to see the pressure applied by Weichel, and just dribbled it off the foot.
And that could be big because now St. Mary's is going to get the last shot of the quarter, more than likely. And they're also going to get the first possession of the second quarter. So a chance here to get a score and then come right back out and get another score. 2-point lead. Let's see what happens here in the last few seconds of this first quarter.
Gill hop step to the basket, too strong.
Now Plymouth's going to get a look here. They got time, 5 seconds.
Burrer hops through two. Didn't see the clock. Does get off in time. No, it doesn't. Official right there. Waves it off. Didn't go anyways. And St. Mary has a 7-5 lead. A little old school basketball here at the end of one.
Yeah, both teams being very patient at the offensive end and also, having some discipline defensively to be able to guard in the half court.
We'll have the second quarter next on the OH Report.
You're watching high school tournament basketball 100% live and free. Thanks to all of our generous sponsors. Please support those who support your local athletes.
Here we go with the second quarter. 8 minutes back on the clock. St. Mary defensively solid quarter against Plymouth, just giving up 5. And because of that, tempo is slowed down. You look at St. Mary's score and say, well, they only have 7, but it's just been that sort of game here early, Joe.
It'll be interesting to see if they make any kind of adjustment here offensively to try to set some screens for Weichel here. As they're pretty much, is what you said, box and one. Not necessarily face guarding Weichel, but they have 4 guys in a box in a zone and then making sure they're matched up on Weichel. Nice cut there.
Floater up in the air. That won't go. Tip out last by St. Mary's. So Leo Will misses and then tips it out of bounds. And right now Plymouth's game plan against Caden Weichel seems to be working. He's scoreless, but you still find yourself down 2.
Yeah. I mean, Coach Eric Picklesheimer kind of gave the old fist pump there on that possession, really liking what his team's doing defensively.
Ball tipped from behind. Groves will collect. Zip across court pass. Colton Sundstrom keeps the ball moving. Keegan Beverly to Burrer. At the free throw line, cut off. Groves already hit a 3 in this game. He'll put it on the deck and drive here. And a big collision underneath, able to keep it alive for the Big Red.
Yep. Good job there by Gross of being able to just maintain it and keep Plymouth with possession of the basketball.
There's a rough handoff by Plymouth, and now here's a turnover. Caden Weichel down the floor, floater, no good, and a foul. It'll be a blocking foul on Burrer. You'll get a second look here thanks to JJ's Pizza. A little bit late on the back off there by Jarrett.
Yep. I mean, Weichel's going to get a chance to go to the line here and get his first points of the night.
Weichel, a 76% free throw shooter. He will miss the first. Couple subs. Nobody new into the game here for St. Mary. You bring back in Birch, and then you also have Lawrence, who returns to action. Second shot through.
Down the second. And gives an opportunity for St. Mary to extend their pressure a little bit. Not really looking to trap, just making Plymouth handle the ball a little bit up as they bring it up the floor. And now they're able to pressure the basketball.
Big Red was in a pickle there for a moment. They now have it with their star. Burrett cross court for three. Kilgore. We're tied at 8.
And Kilgore is a 33% shooter from three-point range, so definitely a capable three-point shooter there.
Facing up to the basket, Birch looks to pass, gives it away to Will. Extra, here's Finneran. He responds.
You know, and if they're boxing in one on Caden Weichel, there's going to be some guys that are going to get some open looks. And
Finneran makes the three. It's 11-8. We got timeout from Plymouth. Good back and forth action here to start.
Yep. I mean, I think both coaches probably got to like how their game plan's playing out right now. As you said, this is not going to be a high-scoring basketball game. As Sandusky, St. Mary only scores about 40, just over 45 points per game, while Plymouth averages just about 51 points a game. So likely that this game is going to be in the 40s, and might be the first team to get to 50 tonight would be the team that wins.
Shout out to our YouTube comments section. Malty Yapples says, good basketball. Good old-fashioned basketball, low-scoring game. Shout out to our Facebook comments section as well. Kate Means and Denise Lewis both cheering on the Big Red. GBR, go Big Red. Out of this timeout, we'll see Plymouth try to dissect this St. Mary defense that's been a little rough to kind of read here for Big Red.
As we mentioned, one of the things is Finneran, his ability to pressure the basketball when it's in Jackson Bay's hands.
On a mission here, Sundstrom misses the mid-range.
Weichel with the rebound here as he brings it up in transition.
Played back and forth with his teammate Finneran. Put the burners on, drive in, kick to Gill, taken away by Groves. And Groves on the outlet, loses it again, step through, layup left a little bit too long, and then again it's ripped away by St. Mary, and finally they cash in.
2 offensive rebounds there, and then we said anytime you can get a second and or a third chance scoring opportunity, it works well for you. And there you mentioned, Jonathon, you had talked about defensive pressure, one of the few turnovers here in the first half.
Near side corner, Gill pushes off his defender cleanly, splitting a double, mid-range jumper. That one no good. Rebound by St. Mary, and now a tie-up with Groves between him and Lawrence. Arrow points towards Plymouth.
You'd almost like Finneran to have taken that three there, because his penetration just made it maybe a little bit tougher shot. It looked like he had an open, just catching three look, but chose to drive it into the lane.
No one pressuring Groves. He'll bring it up across the timeline.
I mean, they're giving Gross a lot of space, and that's interesting because he's made 1 3 tonight.
Burrer still scoreless here for Plymouth. He gives it off. Groves in the corner for 3, doesn't take it. keeps it moving. Sundstrom, second try. That one also no.
Offensive rebound there for Plymouth, and they're going to get a foul.
That'll go on Braden Gill. That's his first, team first.
So we also need to give Brian Gibson of St. Mary's credit here because he's been the guy matched with Burr and has not really given him any kind of look at the basket so far here in the first half.
It's Keegan Beverly, the sophomore 5'8" guard, dishes back off to Burr, and Groves open again.
Decides not to take the three, drove it in.
Got a free throw line jumper. That will bounce in for Keegan Beverly.
I think we mentioned in the first game that these rims are pretty soft, so that shot there kind of hit the front, the back, the front again, and then dropped in.
I think it was you that mentioned that.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, that's may sound kind of goofy, but especially if we would go to an unfamiliar place, we would sometimes talk to our players about, how tight the rims were, because on a soft rim here, there's going to be a lot of rebounds that are going to be right at the rim. You're not going to have very many long rebounds.
Takeaway is 2 Big Red players collide. And, Coach, that's why you're a Hall of Famer. I don't think any coaches are talking about that anymore.
Well, I know one place that we played in the league when we went to Marion Harding, man, their rims they had to be the tightest rims ever. And I think one year it was kind of like everybody that went there in the league, we thought if we could get to 50 points, we were going to win because it was just difficult to make shots because the rims were so tight. Whereas a little bit difference here tonight, these rims are pretty soft.
We're going to have a timeout. This will be called by Plymouth. That'll be their second timeout, just a 30-second. Shout out to JJ's Pizza yet again, your exclusive sponsor of this live stream here tonight. Bringing you this live and free coverage of Plymouth basketball, where Jessica Hammond in our Facebook chat is cheering on the Big Red, says protect the ball, get those rebounds. And I think that's a pretty good summary right now for Plymouth.
Yeah, they would be. Actually, at timeout, I guess it looks like it was called by St. Mary, the 32nd timeout. Coach Hammond looked like he wanted to take it. So it'll be interesting to see if they draw anything up here to see if they can get Caden Weichel open here at all. They really haven't done anything as far as setting any screens for him. So it might be interesting to see if they try to ball screen for him when it gets in his hands, or just when he's away from the ball, see if he can get a screen and get him cutting off of a screen, but the ball goes right in his hands right away right here.
Plymouth still staying tight in this box-and-one defense.
Yep. Had him open, good pass to the backside. Didn't get a very good angle, though, to finish.
That'll go last off St. Mary. We'll go the other way with it.
I mean, Leo Will needed to get a better angle there. He tried to just float it over the front, and actually, if he probably would have taken one dribble and squared his shoulders, he could have put it right off the glass.
In our Facebook chat again, Angel Horn cheering on the Big Red. Says, take care of the ball, boys. See if they follow these instructions here in this possession. 2:43 to go in the second quarter. Big Red find themselves down.
Weichel swats that one away. So even though Weichel hasn't scored, he's kind of made his presence felt a little bit here at the defensive end of the floor. I believe has a steal, has a block shot there, and recovered it.
Some handles shown off by Weichel. He gives to his teammate. And that ball thrown way into the bleachers, but a foul first bails him out. I think he almost took somebody out over on the Sandusky side of the bleachers.
Gibson kind of just got caught in the air, really didn't know what to do with it, but fortunately for him, there was a reach-in foul, and ball's going to be baseline out of bounds here for the Panthers. Box set.
Yep. Looks like they're going to go to Gill and give it right back.
Yeah, tried to get that quick handoff and see if Weichel could get something there, and good job there of the freshman jumping out on Weichel and defending him. So they've had different guys guard Weichel.
Can't leave that guy open. You luck out there. Leo Will misses the three, and this will go last off Plymouth. We're staying on this side.
Yeah. Kind of lucky there for the Panthers because Bruner had a pretty good box out. Seemed like he might have got bumped pretty good, but Panthers retain possession of the basketball here, and Finneran's going to be the guy that's going to inbound the basketball.
We'll take it right back. Dish inside.
Had a chance, but they're going to kick it out here for a three.
Second time's a charm. Leo Will extends the lead to 6.
I mean, and Will, just an 18% shooter, though. 18 of 98 from 3, so that was his 99th three attempt for the year.
Corner Reynolds
Freshman.
off to the right. Good defense by St. Mary. Down the floor we go. Weichel, stop, pop, right wing three. It falls. St. Mary's starting to catch fire.
And Weichel just came down, gave a little bit of a pass fake, and the defense took a step back. But that was a pretty deep three there by Weichel. And now they're going to trap a little bit here in the half court.
Bays faces some pressure. Floater in the lane. Too strong.
Chance here for the Panthers to get a double-digit lead here. The freshman matched up on Weichel.
Finneran crosses to his left. Good defense by Bays. Handoff back out. Weichel. Into Gill. He's got some space to work on the defender. Hook shot. No good. And Gill kept that inbound somehow. Now it'll roll out, and it'll be Plymouth basketball.
But a good effort there by the Panthers of making an effort to get to the offensive glass.
35 seconds left here in quarter number 2. Big Red need a response here, down 9. Been tough sledding offensively here in the second quarter.
And a lot of it's been because of this guy right here being able to pressure the basketball and reaches from behind and gets a turnover, forces a turnover.
20 seconds left. St. Mary will hold for the last shot.
Yep, chance to take a double-digit lead here, and then also will get the ball to start the second half.
Free throw line caught. Lawrence, good ball movement to Weichel. What an end to the second quarter. It's 22-10, and Weichel's got 7 to lead the way for St. Mary.
2 late threes here.
Panthers 22, Big Red 10. Take a halftime break. We'll come back with some numbers. Live and free on the OH Report on your halftime show, brought to you by JJ's Pizza of Plymouth. Every shot counts, every game matters. Catch the action right here on the OH Report. Just before we start our halftime show, want to thank our exclusive sponsor of tonight's Plymouth basketball coverage, JJ's Pizza in Plymouth. Special message for you watching with us live and free. You can use the promo code for JJ's Pizza. Promo code is OHReport25. No spaces, all caps, OHReport25 for 25% off at jjspizza.us. 43 years serving the community. Getting hungry? It's 8:30. Go ahead and make a call over at 419-687-2555 and secure some pizza and support the OH Report and Plymouth basketball here as we get ready for this halftime show. Take a break, come back.
You're watching high school tournament basketball 100% live and free thanks to all of our generous sponsors. Please support those who support your local athletes.
Time now for your OH Report halftime show, brought to you by JJ's Pizza from Plymouth, 419-687-2555. Go ahead and get yourself a pizza tonight. On us, OH Report has a special promo code for JJ's. It's OH Report25 for 25% off at jjspizza.us. 43 years serving the community. Jonathon Langdon, Joe Balogh. We had quite the first half, especially in the first quarter. Low-scoring affair. It was 7-5 in favor of the Panthers. And then we see an explosion out of nowhere for St. Mary. They knocked down 4 threes in the second quarter, late in the second quarter at that, and they have this 22-10 advantage.
They, Plymouth in a box and one had done a pretty good job, especially in the half court, but Weichel kind of in transition was able to find enough open space that able to knock down those 2 big threes and give his team a 12-point advantage here at the half. For Plymouth, Jarrett Burrer's got to get going. I mean, he averages 17 a game, and as we mentioned, got to the free throw line 144 times here, and has not scored yet or not been to the free throw line. So, going to be important here early in the third that Plymouth gets him going a little bit offensively.
Shout out to a couple comments as we look at these halftime stats. Thanks to Grant Swain for tuning in on Facebook, cheering on the Panthers, our first St. Mary fan we've seen in the chat. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know who you're cheering on. We would love to shout you out during this broadcast. So taking a deeper dive into these numbers, even, I would say, in every regard, except for the Big Red just spilling the basketball like it's candy, 9-3 right now.
Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing is when you turn the ball over, whether it's a live ball, turnover, or a dead ball, you just lose the opportunity that you're going to get a shot at the basket. If you get a shot at the basket, you get a chance that it's going to go in, or you get a chance that you can go rebound the basketball. So usually the turnover battle, whoever wins that as far as having the fewest turnovers, many times the team that comes out on top. And you had mentioned that one of the things that, the defense that St. Mary's loves is that, they're able to force some turnovers, and they've been able to do that, especially in the second quarter.
So we're going to see how both teams come out here about 2.5 minutes before we start the third quarter. I'll read over some YouTube comments here before we go into the bracket and go into what's going to be a district title on Saturday. Shout out to Toby Gibson on YouTube cheering on St. Mary, filling up our chat here today. And then also Luke cheering on Plymouth and Jacoby. Kind of jawing a little bit with Gibson over on the comments, saying it's only the first half here because it's a 22-10 lead. It could evaporate in any moment. Big defensive first half. It could really change in an instant. Let's look at this bracket as we take it back out to the court. Take a look at what has got us to this point. You can fill in St. Paul. They won big against Buckeye Central earlier tonight, so that's who's awaiting the winner of this one.
Yep, and St. Paul, but whoever wins this game, St. Paul's got to be the favorite. Playing on Saturday night. I think that their 13th win in a row now. So they've been on a roll really, probably since the first of the year. I'd have to take a look to see if they've lost here in 2025 or not.
I think they did at the very beginning of the year, but that's kind of when things started to turn on for St. Paul.
So they're on about a 6-week heater, I think, here.
Yeah, it's been insane from St. Paul. Speaking of them, you see them at the top of the Fireland standings. Plymouth down there. We mentioned this during the broadcast of the first game, but there's a lot of solid opponents that you see there in the Fireland standings that you like to be next to, because Western Reserve just took Colonel Crawford to the last second last night in the Sheldon Bowl, and then Mapleton beat a couple of big opponents, Crestview as well. Yep.
I mean, you got 4 teams there with winning records, and then Plymouth, finished the regular season right at 500, and then I think, as you mentioned, Western Reserve was playing much better in the second half of the year than they were the first.
Plymouth in their huddle, they'll get ready to go.
Well, it's going to be Panther basketball, and as many times as we talk, first few possessions are key. So right now, if St. Mary can get a score here, they're going to stretch it to 14 or 15. And if they get a stop, then they can take it to beyond 15 points. On the other flip side, if you're Plymouth, you get a stop and you get a score, you get it back to at least a 10-point game or less. You get another stop, and then you can even cut into it further. So first 3 minutes but could really dictate how the second half's going to go. 2-1-2 set. Throw it right to the high post.
And that first shot will miss for St. Mary, so a chance to eat into the deficit for Plymouth on the other side.
But almost turned it over.
Good look for Groves, can't finish, but there is Jarrett Burrer finally on the board.
Yep. Good job there being able to attack the backside and finish. So Plymouth able to get a stop and now a score. Let's see if they can get a second consecutive stop here.
Meredith Heyer cheering on St. Mary here as we get well into the second half. Cross-court pass. And a good
got a block.
Yeah, good blocking foul call from the official right there to see the play.
It's just interesting, too, here as they go that box and one, they have the freshman. Plymouth has a freshman, Reynolds, matched up on Weichel. And now they're going to go man-to-man on this baseline out-of-bounds play. Let's see if they stay man. Looks like they will.
Ripped through by Weichel, goes to the coast, cannot finish. Too short off the glass, rebound by Plymouth. Here comes Kilgore.
And good job by the freshman of not fouling as he went straight up. Forced Weichel to have a tough shot.
Burr cannot make that three. That would have been huge for their momentum. And a good rebound in there by Birch, able to rip away from 2 reachers.
You can see right away here in the second half, Burr being more aggressive offensively. Got to the offensive glass, had an open 3. So probably talked to him a little bit at the half about, hey, man, we need you to score. So you got to be aggressive when you catch the basketball.
Groves defending Birch here in the post. Dishes. Open inside. Bank shot by Gibson, no good, but there's Birch again who draws the foul on Groves. Gotta love how aggressive it's been underneath the basket. Nothing has come easy for either side.
I mean, Birch doing a good job there, just being active. Looked for a post up, kicked it out, but then getting back to the offensive glass. Stack out of bounds here.
And find Birch.
Yep, with a good cut. Not able to get it above the rim, but got an offensive rebound and stayed with it.
Goes out of bounds. Last off of Bays as he went in and got a hand on it.
Let's see what the call is here. It's going to be a different set. Out of a box set now.
2 down screens.
Yep.
Looking to get open. Weichel misses everything. Good rebound inside by Mason Stein.
Designed play there of Weichel coming off of a down screen, but not able to draw iron.
Kilgore nearly lost it, got a shot up, missed, and now the ball ultimately tips around a couple of times and ends up with Gibson. Brian Gibson down the floor.
Just need to reverse the ball here. Good sweep.
Open lane, but a foul as good acrobatic move by Gill to try and get underneath the contest, but he will get 2 free throws. We have not seen very many shots at the stripe in this game.
I mean, good job there in transition of just getting quick reversal. And then Braden Gill just ripped it to his left, took it strong in the basket, gets to go to the free throw line.
In and out on the first. And Gill, the second, he'll put this one up. 60% free throw shooter. In and out. Goes over 2.
So it stays at a 10-point deficit here for Plymouth.
Bays has it poked from behind. We'll stay with Plymouth.
We've mentioned a couple times already, Finneran doing a good job of pressuring the basketball when it's at the top, and there you saw him active hands getting a deflection. So the sophomore Leo Wills subs in for the junior Gabe Birch.
Still a 10-point contest. Plymouth nearly halfway through this third at 12 points. Burrer shoves off a defender and knocks down a 3 to change that.
We said Burr was going to need to step up here in the second half, and there knocks down a 3 as he might have pushed off a little bit, but created enough space that he could get an open look.
That's the third triple to fall for Plymouth.
Yep.
Good
nice pass.
Inside to Gibson.
Well, Plymouth went to man, did not communicate very well on that high ball screen and had poor rotation on the help. St. Mary able to get a wide open layup.
Dribble drive to the left side of the basket, no good. Stein could not finish, and here comes St. Mary.
Yeah, probably just needed to put that on the glass. He tried to shoot it right over the top of the rim, which is difficult to do.
That was a wide drive, but Gibson still gets to the basket and misses. Good rebound by Plymouth.
Somewhat fortunate there for Plymouth because he had a really good look.
That ball tipped out of bounds. Oh, no, they're going to go the other way. I thought that went off of Weichel's hands. Get a second look thanks to JJ's Pizza. I thought I saw a change in direction.
Official was on the sideline there, so you would assume he had a pretty good view of it, but St. Mary likes it.
2 on the elbows. They'll give it off to Gill.
Down double screen here for Weichel. Probably could have stopped right at the top of the key and had an open 3, but continued to dribble it.
Drive by Finneran. Pops it out to Lawrence into the post. Good movement from St. Mary. Reverse layup. 11-point lead, biggest of the day.
Braden Gill with a nice post move.
Correction, biggest lead was at the half, 22-10, but they're getting close to that mark again. Colton Sundstrom was cut off, had to give the Bays. He'll get it right back in the near side corner. And now shoves off his defender, takes a mid-range jumper, and that can't go.
Bird gets another rebound. That's his second offensive rebound here. And really attacking.
Big collision.
Got a block.
Coach Hammond, right by us, wanted an offensive foul. He won't get it.
Both officials kind of looked at each other, and I don't know if they just had eye contact is what the call was, but a block. And Bird getting to the free throw line for the first time tonight, as we mentioned. 107 out of 144 for 74% as he goes to the line for the first time.
You'll take that from your best player.
Yep. Well, and as we mentioned, he's been a lot more aggressive here in the third quarter than he was in the first and second quarter, which is what Plymouth is going to need to get back into this ball game.
Second shot off the back iron, rebound by Weichel, and that will leave Burr at 6 points here in this game.
Let's see if Weichel can get open here as Plymouth is going to man-to-man.
Extra pass. Finneran over the defense, right over Reynolds' arms.
A little swing move to his left and stopped at about 10 feet and elevated to make that jumper. So back to a 12-point lead for the Panthers.
Groves left open. He hit a 3 in the first half, but not one to shoot too many. He'll get it back in the corner. Gives to Jarrett. Burr off a screen to the right, and we've got a timeout. Looks like Coach Picklesheimer not too happy with what he saw on that offensive possession, wants to draw something up.
Yeah, you need to maybe try to get Burr, either give him a ball screen or get him coming off of some screen here, because the gap defense by the Panthers has really kind of prevented him from getting to the lane, which is assuming by looking at the stats, is where he's pretty good because, as we mentioned, got to the free throw line 144 times prior to the 2 times he's gotten there for free throws in this game.
Well, Coach, not often that you get to hear straight from the parents during a game, but I'm going to throw a YouTube comment at you. For
What's
Plymouth,
that?
Matt Patrick says they need to get Kilgore more involved in the offense and set some more screens and try and get open off the dribble. What do you think of that assessment? Kilgore right now has 5 points.
Yeah, they maybe need to find him a little bit.
He's on the bench at this moment in time.
But, you know, the defense of St. Mary's has been really, really good here throughout the whole game.
Top of the key, big shot for St. Mary. Gabe Birch, just a 22% shooter from beyond the arc. Gets the lead up to 15.
I mean, the interesting thing is, coming into this game, though,
I think it's a block.
The Panthers only shoot 24%, but they've taken 426 threes. Got a block.
That'll go on Weichel, and fans not happy with that call because that's actually, no, it's just going to be his first foul, so not too bad if you're St. Mary. But that's a guy you don't want to have in foul trouble, but it doesn't seem that'll be any sort of issue here.
Anytime there's a block or a charge, you're going to have half the crowd that likes it, the other half probably doesn't.
I will say, much bigger crowd on hand here for this game than our first one.
Yep.
Under 2 minutes left here in the third quarter.
And a little bit more active at both ends of the floor here for teams. The pace in the first half was slow, but seems to be a lot more movement by teams, both offensively and a little bit more aggressive defensively also. But the Panthers doing a good job really defensively here all night. 16 points, and we're under 2 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Big Red down 15. They need a scoring run quick. Reynolds dishes it off to the right wing. This is Burrer, has 6 points all here in this third quarter. He'll put his head down and drive. Kick to the corner. Shot is good. A big shot from Colton Sundstrom.
That's a big basket. Got it back to 12. Now Plymouth is going to extend their defense. 2-2-1, three-quarter court trap, and they force a turnover. You got a layup if you throw it ahead.
Ball slightly tipped, and a good job by Lawrence to get back.
Yeah, tried to dribble it too quick, didn't catch it right away. So a big turnover by the Big Red. And Coach Hammond's going to take a timeout here.
Both teams will have 3 to go after that one called.
48 seconds to go in the quarter. Guess it'll be interesting now to see if St. Mary tries to hold the ball to get the last shot of the quarter, as Plymouth will get possession of the ball to start the fourth. So you have a chance here if you take the last shot of the quarter. If you miss it, it's going to stay at 12. If you make it, it's going to go to 14 or 15. So kind of a big possession here to see what happens.
A reminder that tonight's coverage brought to you exclusively by JJ's Pizza in Plymouth. I did just get a message from the one and only president of OH Support, Brian Skoronsky, that JJ's is actually closed today. But that promo code I mentioned before, I'll mention it again, that'll be available for tomorrow night when JJ's opens up for the weekend. So that promo code for you, anyone interested in JJ's Pizza,
Nothing
promo code
better
is
than
OH Report 25.
And nothing better than pizza on a Friday night.
Exactly. 25% off at jjspizza.us. And there's going to be plenty of games here on the OH Report that they can tune in and eat some JJ's.
Nice little set there.
Open for 3.
But not able to knock it down. That was a nice set. They ran a shooter up a double, then ran Weichel through what we would call a side elevator screen.
Got a foul here that's going to send Plymouth to the line. Give you a second look at that.
So Plymouth's got a chance here to cut it to 10 as the freshman Isaiah Reynolds goes to the free throw line. And Reynolds a 63% free throw shooter on the year. Not bad, but not great either. You would like to be in that 70% range as a free throw shooter, but only a freshman.
And it's not great to have him miss in a situation like this.
because as you've done enough tournament games already this year, you know that as you get to the second half, every possession becomes a little bit more important. And he's not able to knock down the second one either. So
that shot off the back iron, so empty at the line, but it's
turnover.
Given to Burr for the layup.
Oh,
he misses.
not able to score it.
Reynolds is now fouled again. He'll have another chance.
Yep. Weichel just tried to go a little bit too quick there. I think he maybe saw an opening up the floor and just didn't grab the basketball. Plymouth able to get the steal, but Reynolds going back to the line again for 2 here.
Isaiah Reynolds makes the first. He's going to have a big future in this program as just a freshman. That shows you how much trust that Picklesheimer has in him to start him in a situation like this.
And he's got a nice shooting stroke. It's just as typical with most freshmen. Growth and maturity is going to be key, but also, getting in the weight room and getting stronger here before next season. So 2-2-1 full court pressure here by Plymouth.
Good job by St. Mary to break that pressure. Gibson fakes a shot, drives inside, and gets the bucket.
Thought they might hold it there, but Gibson with the drive and getting an easy layup, and you're not going to give up a layup here. Burr able to go back, and he gets fouled.
Free throws starting to add up here in this third quarter. We've got 2.9 to go. And if Burr makes both, we'll have another chance for St. Mary to potentially get a heave at the end of the horn.
I believe Burr tonight 1 of 2 so far, but as we mentioned, almost a 75% free throw shooter, so go by percentage, he should make both.
Were you a big analytics guy as a coach?
Analytics weren't a big thing as when we were coaching, but we would really try to pay a lot of attention to stats, especially free throw shooters down the stretch.
That one misses. Clock starts.
Oh, and he got fouled.
Big bump at the end of the horn.
Thought that was going to be a foul, but they didn't call it.
Here's the look again, brought to you by JJ's. As good rebound by Beverly to get in there, and then he was just decked to the ground. And no call from the officials. That'll end the third.
I thought the official had a closed fist, but he just had his 3 fingers up to signal it was going to be a 3, that he got it off in time.
Low-scoring affair here in Shelby for Game 2 of this doubleheader. 33-22, Panthers lead.
You're watching high school tournament basketball 100% live and free. Thanks to all of our generous sponsors. Please support those who support your local athletes.
Be Plymouth basketball here.
Final 8 minutes here in this contest between St. Mary and the Big Red. Even with the 11-point disparity, I feel like this has been a good old-fashioned game of basketball, and it's just come down to Plymouth turning the ball over and not getting too many good opportunities offensively right now.
And Coach Picklesheimer is pretty vocal in the huddle there. Not anything negative, but just I think trying to light a fire a little bit under his basketball team here as they got a chance to get this under 10 points.
Shot no good from Kanan Kilgore.
But Burr around the glass, just not able to grab it.
It's going to take some doing for Plymouth to score 11 points in this fourth, considering they have 22 right now.
Yep. I mean, we said it looked like it was going to be a game that was going to be in the 40s, and if anybody gets to 50, they're probably going to win it. Big rebound there. Another rebound.
And Burr in there with a jump ball. Yeah, good job by the official to see that. Arrow will point towards St. Mary.
I mean, Birch has been around the glass a lot tonight. And as we said, with these soft rims, the ball's not going to bounce very far out, so being close to that rim is important.
Catch and shoot, Weichel. Now you got to score 16.
They ran that baseline play earlier, and Plymouth did a good job of not letting Weichel get an open look, and he was able to get just enough room to knock down that 3. Big basket for the Panthers.
Putting the pressure on the Big Red here tonight. Bays draws contact.
And to make a comeback, this is one of the best ways to do it, is get to the free throw line and be able to score when the clock is stopped.
To Plymouth's credit, they have gotten to the line pretty well, just have not been able to convert too much.
But as you said, if you're going by analytics right now, 22 points with 7 minutes to go in the basketball game doesn't look real promising for the Big Red to be able to put together a scoring run. But we've been around enough basketball for a long time. Things can change very quickly. But
0 for 2 at the line. Rebound hauled in by Gill.
I mean, Gill and Birch have done a pretty good job of rebounding the ball. They're not necessarily tall, but they are pretty thick athletes.
Timeout here as St. Mary was in a pickle. St. Mary will have 2 timeouts to go. You mentioned how we've seen crazy things happen, and I just have to know throughout your entire career, we've talked about one situation, but outside of Sheldon and that whole situation, what's one of the crazier games maybe that went on your end, the positive end for you?
I mean, we won a game against, well, actually it would have been about 4 years prior to that half-court hook shot. We actually won a game at Ontario, kind of like on the old Christian Leitner play, where we hit a 3 at the buzzer. I think it was in double or might even be in triple overtime that we beat Wentford. So, and we've had some other situations I can't think of right off the top of my head, but being in for a long time, you find yourself on either end of those. And fortunately for us, we were on the positive end of a lot of them.
What do you think the biggest comeback any team you coached ever made was?
Oh,
there's a block by Burrer out of bounds.
You're asking me some difficult questions.
I'm sorry.
For an old guy that his memory's not real good. Off the top of my head, I can't think. I do know that we lost the game. Sometimes they say sometimes you remember the negative more than the positive. But we jumped out against Lex at our place, I think, one year, and we're up, maybe it was like 20-2, and ended up and lost that basketball game. Which many times, watching a lot of basketball, when a team jumps out to a big early lead, sometimes that's difficult to hang on to, but was not the case tonight in our first game, as Norwalk St. Paul jumped out big and stayed out.
They talk about your game 20-2, St. Paul 19-2.
Yep.
They held on, won by over 30 points, and they await the winner of this game, and the final 6:32 left in it. St. Mary up 36-22 over the Big Red. Spin move inside, tight. Finish nicely done by Gill. Counted in the foul from Groves. St. Mary running away with it.
As we mentioned, the play of Gill and Birch, both of those guys are pretty skilled when they catch the ball in the low block, and Gill's showing his ability there.
Rebound by Burr off of the missed free throw.
And they've done a really good job on Burr tonight. As we said, coming in averaging 17. I believe he has, 5, I think?
Seen a couple of looks here for Plymouth where they've had an open opportunity for 3 where they've kind of been a little timid and kept the ball moving. They're in a situation right now, they're down 16. They got to get back in this game.
And it's been the on-ball defense right now of the Panthers, as they've not been able to keep the ball in front and out of the lane. And Finneran to the basket, not able to finish.
Bays has it poked from behind, able to keep it inbounds. Dishes to Groves down the middle of the floor. He'll rise, fire, no good on the layup.
Just not able to get it above the rim.
By Gibson. Finneran will slow things down with 5:28 left.
They're gonna run a little bit of clock here. See if they can spread Plymouth out and then get to the basket.
Gill moves it back out to Weichel. Weichel right now with 13 points for St. Mary. Finneran, floater, rattles in. 40-22, and things are looking pretty good if you're a Panther fan watching at home live and free.
So right now it's looking like they could get that matchup that they want.
Timeout Plymouth. Both teams will have 2 left. This is a full timeout. Gives you and I a chance to talk a little bit about what we've seen here tonight. So St. Paul, they come out in our first game, blitz, Buckeye Central, they win by 30+. And then now we're seeing the Panthers start to run away. They're not going to win by that much, but they're at an 18-point advantage right now. And I think one of the biggest takeaways for me in this postseason, covering all of the playoffs here in the last 2-3 weeks, is I know that we're doing rankings differently compared to how we used to do it. We have Max Prep's RPI at this point in time, but right now it feels like all of the higher seeds are delivering. And I feel like we're seeing more 1-2 district championships, even with St. Mary, a team that went under 500.
And that's the idea of why they went to the RPI, because when coaches voted, they I don't know if the correct word is politics, especially, you know, when I first started coaching, you go to tournament draw and you did it on a piece of paper in a meeting. So if somebody tried to mess with the seeds a little bit, you know, you kind of had to face the guy face to face. Well, when they had coaches voting, you did it by computer, you might have somebody who, they would go, well, I'm going to vote myself 1 and Ontario 4, even though that really wouldn't be true to help my seeding. So one of the reasons they went to the RPI was to get a little bit truer thing read, which is kind of what's happened here, is St. Mary being rewarded for the schedule they played and some of the better teams that they've beaten on their schedule.
So do you think you like the move personally?
Yeah, I think the RPI helps. I mean, I know there's been, you know, we tweaked it a little bit from the first year that we used it, with the formula a little bit, and I think, you know, there might be a couple tweaks here, but overall, I think coaches like it. Well, you know, we have a meeting the week of the state tournament, and we usually discuss a lot of that stuff.
Got a foul here that'll go on Isaiah Reynolds as Finneran hit the deck. Starting to get into...
If we're looking at the matchup with St. Mary and St. Paul, they did play back on February the 1st at St. Paul, and St. Paul won by 4.
Yeah, it was a tight contest. St. Mary, in fact, I remember looking up that game. St. Mary was up by 10 at one point early in the first half, but St. Paul kind of woke up, was able to get back in front.
Yeah. And a kind of a game like tonight, 43-39 was the final of that game. So probably going to kind of see an old school basketball game again.
How about that Friday acrobatic night finish from Caden Weichel?
Weichel's, you know, is impressive,
and he gets
showing
a steal.
Patience, and now gets a steal, and he's going to do a little head and shoulder fake. Good pass to the teammate. Now they're going to kick it out and reset.
The lead is 20 for St. Mary.
Yep. St. Mary just taking over this basketball game here in the fourth quarter.
Gill keeps the ball moving. There's Leo Will.
They're looking for layups or fouls right now. That's what they're looking at. Because the next foul by Plymouth is they're going to go and shoot 2 free throws.
My coach has always said layups and free throws in this situation.
Yep. And you got to know who you want the, you know, some coaches even went so far as, you know, there was only going to be certain guys that were going to shoot the basketball in this situation.
Finneran gets the layup. Sticking with that philosophy. Top of the key open here is Kilgore, misses short. Rebound by Gill. 3 minutes left, 22-point lead. And now they've more than doubled the score of Plymouth after that finish as Lawrence cashes in.
But Plymouth is going to return their entire starting lineup next year. They started 3 juniors, a sophomore, and a freshman. So sometimes just the opportunity to get here in the district is a motivation for players, and I guess Coach Picklesheimer is going to hope that that's going to be the case.
That ball goes way over the basket and it's out of bounds. Do you think that's one of the positives? I know there's a lot of people that aren't big fans of district tournaments maybe being a little bit more normal for some teams, but do you think that's one of the positives?
I think your goal as a coach every year is, you have a couple goals. You want to win your league, and you want to try to get to the district tournament. And then, Plymouth did not win the league, but they did win a sectional, which is the first in 10 years, and now you've got into district play. And you just have an understanding. It's a little bit different basketball. It's not the same as regular season. But you got here, and every one of these guys is going to come back that started the game tonight. So hopefully, when they get back tonight, there's going to be some sadness, but everybody, it's not like it's your last basketball game. You get a chance to come back and play again next year. So in a couple weeks, maybe after they do some player evaluations, get back to work here in the spring, especially working on your individual skills and getting stronger. And then as you get to May, you start kind of preparing for, what are you going to do in the summer, as coaches typically are going to go to shootouts, maybe go to a camp. And then at the end of June, you reevaluate. And your goal, again, would be for Plymouth, let's be a lot better in the Firelands Conference next year. Let's get back to here and see if we can win a district semi and get to a district final game.
I'm going to send a message to Eric Picklesheimer to just screen record the last minute and a half that you just had there and show it to every single player in their player evaluation meeting. So Coach Balogh giving the message to the Big Red as they have a jump ball here.
But the other thing is you have St. Mary, who only started one senior. So, if they come back, they're going to maybe see some of these same guys again. But St. Mary tonight with a really solid effort, especially at the defensive end of the floor.
Bench is clear for both sides as St. Mary will run away with this one and end up in a district championship on Saturday. Shout out to everyone checking in. For Plymouth, you've got the senior Matthew Gillum, also another senior, Mark Thompson, wears number 21. And here's a lefty three right off the bench. I know this is still Sundstrom, the senior, who's played a little bit of this game. He gets another bucket.
Well, and the thing you need to remember, I don't care if it's basketball, baseball, football, whatever sport you play in high school. I mean, as a parent, you want your kid to have great success, but there's so many lessons that can be learned, life lessons that are learned through playing sports, such as, how to handle winning, how to handle losing, how to deal with adversity, that are things that later in life that, you think right now in a game of basketball are crucial, but really aren't. But later in life can be crucial things that, hey, I learned that lesson playing basketball.
Congratulations to the Plymouth seniors who end their careers here tonight. Colton Sundstrom, Matthew Gillum, and Mark Thompson. That'll do it here tonight. St. Mary's, they come in and get the win. 9th of the season. They're playing for a district championship on Saturday against Norwalk St. Paul. That's a final, 46-25. We'll come back, break down some post-game numbers. We'll have your MVP joining us here momentarily, live and free on the OH Report. That'll do it for the game action, but we're just getting started. This is Jonathon Langdon. Your post-game show's up next. for your MVP, brought to you by JJ's Pizza in Plymouth. Congratulations to St. Mary guard Caden Weichel. The sophomore comes in and holds the Big Red to just 25 points here in this contest. Congratulations to you and your guys. You got a district title coming up on Saturday. Just what are the emotions right now taking down Plymouth?
You know, feels great. We worked all week on Plymouth, prepared for them. We were really prepared for them. So feels good. Celebrated for the night. Back to practice tomorrow.
That's a good mentality. And then for you guys in this game, took a little bit of time to get going for yourself and either team really. In that fact, go a 7-5 first quarter, and then from the second quarter from there, defensively you guys shut down. But on the offensive side, what really pulled you guys away from them?
You know, offensive rebounding. We rebounded out really well, held them to one shot on the defensive end too. So I think that's really what helped us.
So the win here today clinches your spot back here in Shelby on Saturday to take on a team you're familiar with, St. Paul. You watched them before this one, and you had the tough loss earlier on in the season. What do you think's changed from that game to now to that you think you guys got a chance against them?
I think we've really brought in that we can make a big run in this tournament. So we're really prepared for St. Paul. We know what they run, so we'll be ready.
And then throughout the season for you, I feel like it's always interesting that you guys snag a 2 seed here in this district with a record like 9-15 now. The load of work you guys went through this season, what did that do for you guys?
You know, we are in the SBC River, which has a bunch of top teams in every district, so I think that really helps us prepare for these big games.
For sure. And then now you're going to be playing for a district title. We'll see if it works out for you guys.
Yep.
One final question for you. Go ahead and look in that camera and give any shout-outs to anybody that might be watching.
Shout out to my mom, dad, and grandparents.
All right, Caden, congratulations. 16 points in the dub.
Thank you.
That'll do it for the game action, but we're just getting started. This is Jonathon Langdon. Your post-game show is up next. And it's time for your OH Sport post-game show to wrap things up here, brought to you by JJ's Pizza from Plymouth. And we had a solid game here tonight, 46-25. Panthers get the dub, and low-scoring affair here in this contest compared to what we saw with St. Paul in the first leg of this doubleheader. But I thought the Panthers, the moment this game changed is when they knocked down 4 threes in the second quarter and continued to shut down the Big Red offense.
Yeah, our player of the game, when he hit 2 big threes late in the second quarter, and then in the third quarter they didn't really stretch the lead out. I think it started at 12 points and it was pretty much there. But then the fourth quarter, their defense, the pressure just kind of wore Plymouth down, and Plymouth just struggled offensively really the whole night. So interesting matchup coming up here on Saturday night for a district title.
So you see the quarter-by-quarter scoring. And now let's take a look at those numbers for both teams. So turnovers, that's probably the thing that's going to point out the most, 14-6. I thought the Panthers did a really good job, not only on the defensive side, as we already said, but also doing a good job at taking care of the basketball and then also taking advantage of every opportunity they got, especially inside, getting offensive boards. And I think their 2 posts killed it tonight.
Yeah, their post guys were both really, really good. I mean, I think Caden mentioned that about their ability to rebound the basketball, and that's going to be a key on Saturday night, especially going against the big guy from Norwalk St. Paul.
So Big Red 25-46 for the Panthers. Take it back out to the court as we see some of the Plymouth fans getting ready to welcome in their team. They're still in the huddle talking with their coach in the locker rooms. But a good season for the Big Red. They end at an even 500, 12-12. That sectional title clinched the winning season, or clinched not having a losing season. Right. But as you alluded to at the end of the fourth quarter and kind of gave the blueprint for Plymouth on how they should go about the summer, how do you feel about this season for them?
Well, that it's a season of growth, because you would imagine that a lot of those. I didn't follow Plymouth a lot, but you would imagine those guys as sophomores either were not key players at the varsity level or played just JV. So part of this season was a lot of growth for them, and as we mentioned, winning a sectional titles is a big thing. I haven't done it for 10 years. Got a chance to play in the district, and you hopefully, you're sad that your season's over, but hopefully there's a hunger in that locker room that you want to get better and get back here again next year, and also be a little bit more competitive in their league, the Firelands Conference, which could happen because Crestview going to probably lose a lot of guys off of that team. They're pretty much a senior-laden squad, so they're going to be rebuilding a little bit, and you're going to have a chance that you can step up in the Firelands and be a much better basketball team.
Same thing can be said about St. Paul. They've got 6 seniors as well. So congratulations to St. Mary. They move on to the district title. Should be a fun matchup with these guys right here. St. Paul got the win earlier, and we get St. Mary on the win 46-25. Again, that final over Plymouth. Jonathon Langdon, Joe Balogh signing off, along with our camera operator Jeremy Peoples and our statistician Jacob Gessner. Thanks again to JJ's Pizza, your exclusive sponsor of tonight's coverage. We'll see you next time here live and free on the OH Report.